Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It is almost the last day of the year, second to the last day of the year. Um, a new year is upon us, and again, it is time to review the top comic book covers for the past year here in 2023. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight the books that I think, just my opinion, the books that were hot, the covers that were really good at the time they came out. Some of them maybe only for a week or two were hot, and then it cooled down. Others have a little bit more staying power, and some of them are recent as well. So yeah, I'm going to go through my list of what I think is the best covers of 2023. Um, and I basically what I the process of how I came up with it was I thought of my favorite artists throughout the year and what their top covers were. So I narrowed it down. So what I've done for each artist that I've highlighted here, I have what I think is their top cover and where it is on the list and ranking, and then what their runner-up cover was that they also did. So it's kind of a so there's 10 books highlighted, but there's really 20 books highlighted. I have a runner-up for each artist. So I think you're going to enjoy this. It should be a good video, and it's going to bring back some memories throughout the year of some covers that we had that were pretty cool. All right, so starting off, our first one is pictured here. This is number 10 on my list. Um, and also the ranking, my 10th favorite artist of the year, I suppose. And that is Chuma Hill. This is the Night Terror Zatanna. I think it's issue 2, the 1 in 25 variant. It's just an awesome cover. I love the red cover. I love the design of this cover. This was a hot book for a couple weeks. It was on the CBSI Hot 10 list. It was on the Cover Price Top 10 list as well. I had a couple copies in my collection. I still have one copy left. I'm going to hold that in my PC long term, but I did sell one of them. I sold one copy for like $175, something crazy like that. So, yeah, I did really well on a 1 in 25. So, this was definitely a hot book, or maybe it was a 1 in 50. This might have been a 1 in 50. I think it was a 1 in 50. Yeah, so I think I paid right around ratio for it, and I sold it for about uh, a little over 3 times that. Uh, but yeah, definitely one of my favorite covers of the year. It's just a great cover. I love the Zatanna cover, anyways, and this kind of put Chuma Hill on the map for me. I really hadn't paid much attention to her as an artist. I know she's done some covers in the past for various independent books. But yeah, this one really stood out to me as just a great cover. The runner-up cover that she did was the Night Terrors Angel Breaker. I think that was issue number 2 as well. That's the 1 in 25 variant. It's just a great cover. Yeah, so that's my 10th spot of the year. Chuma Hill. I expect more great things from her. She's just a good artist. I like the style. When I see her cover, I know right away it's her cover. I think if she sticks to having bold colors along with her artwork, she'll do well. Where I think that she needs to work on is some of her cover art has very muted covers, but the covers that really stand out are these 2 covers I'm highlighting because the colors are bold and it really makes her artwork kind of pop and stand out. So hopefully going forward, she'll continue to use that bold coloring process along with her artwork. I think she'll continue to do well if she does that. All right, so that's my 10th favorite artist of the year, Chuma Hill. Number 9, See if anybody recognizes this. This is the Jeff DeCall. I think it's the main cover for Fall of X number 15. Wasn't an incentive cover, just a regular, I think you could still buy it off eBay for cheap, still at cover price. It's just a great cover. Awesome cover of Storm. DeCall has a signature style as well. And man, it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork here. That's definitely one of my favorite covers of the year. And he makes the 9th spot, Jeff DeCall. His runner-up cover is one that came out just a few months ago, X-Force number 46. This is the DeCall X-23 cover. And I love it, man. It's just the coloring on it is awesome. The perspective of how she's standing. You've got the blood coming off of the claws. Yeah, I love it. I just think it's fantastic. So, and that also was a book that was on the Hot 10 list when it came out. So I think it was a couple months ago, back in maybe November, October, November. That was definitely on the Hot 10 list, cover price and CBSI. So number 9 spot is Jeff DeCall. 8 spot is, we've got Raza, a Raza cover here, Wonder Woman 799. It's just a great cover. I love how the light's coming in above her, just illuminating, especially the metal on her bracelets there. Yeah, it's such a good cover. Definitely one of the best covers of the year. Definitely my favorite Raza cover. I mean, he's done a bunch of good ones. I had probably 7 or 8 of them I could have picked, and they were all really good. But this is definitely my favorite cover. And it did well too. That cover sold really well. In fact, it did so well they ended up doing a Virgin foil copy, which I have of that as well. And I think that was like a Comic-Con variant. It might have been New York this year. I think it was New York. So yeah, I'm not the only one that's going to say this is one of the best covers of the year. It's a popular cover. And it's not an incentive. It's a regularly, I think it's a B cover maybe. So yeah, awesome cover by Raza. Continues to just impress. He's just a great artist. His runner-up cover for me, and there was a bunch of them to choose from. But man, I love this cover. This is a kind of a rare book, Werewolf Frankenstein. Number 1, it was a Kickstarter book. So you had to support the campaign to get this. I don't know too many people that have this book. I have this book. Ben Stein has a copy. I've talked to him about this book. He loves the cover as well. He bought it because he supported the campaign because he likes this Raza cover. In fact, if you see the back of this book, I guess they gave a spot for it, like on graveyard stones. You could put your name or the name of your business, or if you're a YouTube show. So it has Justice for Comics right next to House of Stein. So Ben and I are right next to each other. As we paid a little extra money to advertise our brand on the back of the comic book. So yeah, I just love that cover. Awesome job by Raza. As soon as I saw that, I had to buy it and support the campaign. So I don't know how many of these are out there. I've not seen any for sale on eBay, as far as I know. So could be one of those books that just a lot of people don't know about. Yeah, I don't know. I just love it though. It's awesome looking cover. All right, so Raza is in the 8th spot. Who do we got next? We got Rose Besh in the 7th spot. This is the What If Dark Spider-Gwen number 1. I believe this was I think it was a 1 in 50 variant. I know it was an incentive variant. I just can't remember if it was a 1 in 100. I think it was a 1 in 100. Yeah, it was a 1 in 100 variant. There's also a blue version of this that is the 1 in 20, one of those 1 in 25 second printings, which I think sells around the same price. It's, this book goes for more than $100, so I definitely think it's Besh's best cover of 2023, and she had a couple really good ones. There were like 4 of them that were solid, but this is my favorite. I just love the perspective of it. It's just, yeah, I really like that anime style that she produces. I mean, right away, it's a Rose Besh cover typically. And yeah, I think it's awesome. Runner up cover for her in that 7 spot is Maleficent #1. This was a Golden Apple Virgin comic exclusive. So this was not issued through retailers. This was only through Golden Apple Comics. So I think it was like $20. I think you can still buy it on their website for $20. I have no idea what the print run was. Um, I don't think it's all that limited. I don't think it's really worth more than $20, but I really like this cover. It's the coloring, the design of it is really, really good. It's one of my favorite Maleficent covers, and there were some really good Maleficent covers this year, but this one stood out. I just like it. Yeah, to me, that was an easy choice as the runner-up of all the best covers out there. I just thought this one definitely deserved the second spot. All right, the 6th artist is Takashi Okazaki, famous Japanese illustrator who's been around a long time. Afro Samurai has been around a long time. He's a great artist. The detail that he can produce is just amazing. Look at the detail on this Berserker #12 cover. It's unbelievable. This was a comic exclusive through the Comic Corner store. They had, I think, the regular color version. They had maybe 300 copies. It was pretty limited. I think it was around 300. They've also have a black and white that was only 50. So there's a black and white version of this where there was only 50 copies of those made. You had to be basically a club member to receive it. I am a club member, so I've got one of those bad boys in my collection. At the New York Comic Con, they did a metal variant of that cover, which I also have that. And there's also I think there's a gold version, metal gold version, and there's a blue tint. There's a couple different variations, and man, I think those are really limited, like 25 copies. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 of those on eBay. The gold I've not seen on eBay in a while. I think the blue tint, there's one on eBay for like $400 or $500, something crazy like that. Just a great cover. One of my favorite covers of the year for sure. I've talked about it on my channel. I've highlighted it on my Instagram. And it's just, man, look at that cover. It's so cool. The detail is amazing. That he's got the sword down the guy's mouth. It's awesome. So that was an easy pick for me. That was a easy pick, I think, for me to choose from. Runner-up cover for Takashi Okazaki is Extreme Venomverse #4. Now, technically, it's not as detailed as as I would normally see, but I love the coloring and the design of this. This was a hot book for a couple weeks. I mean, I remember there was a copy that sold for as high as like $175, almost $200 for this. It's a 1 in 25 variant too, by the way. So, yeah, it's an awesome looking book. It is the first appearance of this new character. I'm having a hard time remembering the name of that character. I was going to look it up real quick. I think I did look it up and I just forgot. I know there is a new first appearance of somebody in here. That's the character on the cover, obviously. Oh, is it Necroco? Is that how you pronounce it? Necroco? I think it's pronounced Necroco. So this was a really hot book. I think you can buy it under $100 now. I think there's been some sales in around that 75 to $80 range. So it's not as expensive as it was. I think the week or two after it came out, it was selling for about $175. But it's come down in price. You just got to be patient sometimes. Luckily, I picked up two copies at Ratio, so I still have them in my collection. And I'm just a big fan of his art. And yeah, the design of this cover is just awesome. I like it. It's very recognizable. It's simplistic yet detailed. It's good. It's a good cover. So that was I think that was number six, right? Our sixth spot was Takashi Okazaki. Number five, see if you guys remember this cover. Man, I love this cover. And really, it made the Hot 10 list one week. I think Cover Price also highlighted it one week. CBSI had it on their top 10. I think it was in their top 5 covers for the week. I just love this cover. This is a Alex Maleev cover that he did for Star Wars Darth Vader Black, White, and Red I think it was issue number 1. And this is the Virgin variant. This is the 1 in 25 second printing, which is super rare. If you go on eBay right now, there's none for sale. There hasn't been a sale since like last October, since this past October. This came out earlier in the year. Yeah, it's just a fantastic cover. I love it. I've got 2 copies in my collection. So, and I could have easily sold it for more than twice what I paid. But I have no intention of selling this. I really, really like this cover. I think it's basically a negative space variant if you think about it, right? It's all white. You got the stormtroopers in the background blending into the white. To me, it's an iconic looking cover that I think years from now will be more and more appreciated than it is today. No one really talks about this cover that much, but it's it's absolutely fantastic. I really, really like this cover. I mean, it's not my favorite cover of the year, but it's pretty dang close. I just really think it's awesome. So there is the Alex Maleev at the. I think we have him at the fifth. Did I say the 5th spot? I think the 5th spot. I didn't really have a runner-up cover for the Alex Maleev. At least I don't think I did. Let me take a look here. Did I have a runner-up? Oh, I did. Here we go. That was the runner-up cover, which is the Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 37. That is the 1 in 100 Virgin variant. Now there was a B cover that you could buy if you like the artwork. You don't have to pay the 1 in 100 ratio pricing. But man, in a Virgin cover like that, it looks so good. So that was a really close second. I love that cover by Maleev. Again, Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 37, the 1 in 100 Virgin variant by Maleev. Next on our list, so that was our 5th spot, Alex Maleev. Now we're on the 4th spot, which I have as Artgerm. White Widow number 1. This is the 1 in 100. Technically, that's the regular cover, but the 1 in 100 is a Virgin variant of this, which is doing well. Copies are still selling well above ratio. To me, that's the best Artgerm cover for the year. It's really good. And there's several really good ones this year that he did. But I just really like this one. I like when he does a full body, more of a full body drawing instead of just the profile where he just does maybe the face or the upper body. I like this one. I think it's really, really good. It sold well. It was on the top 10 list for Cover Price and CBSI for a week or two. I think it was at least 1 week. Yeah, I love it. I think it's a fantastic looking cover. The runner up for that is a book that just dropped. I think it's coming out. Is it next Wednesday? So it's technically a December comic book, which is the House of the Fall of X #1. This is the 1 in 100 Artgerm cover. There's also a B cover. So that's the B cover that's shown with the trade dress, but there's also a virgin variant of this. And it's a 1 in 50, not 1 in 100. So the virgin copy is a 1 in 50. But man, that book is selling. I looked on eBay already. It's like $125 already for that book. It's awesome Artgerm cover. I mean, it's so good. Those are my two favorite Artgerm covers, and he makes up the 5th spot. Number 4 on the list is an artist we're very familiar with, Bill Sienkiewicz. Sienkiewicz, is it Sienkiewicz? All I know is that he's got the toughest last name to spell. I always spell it wrong. I know it's like SIENKINW. There's a W in there. Yeah, it's difficult to spell. But man, this is a great cover. This is Predator versus Wolverine, issue number 4. There is a regular cover of this, a trade dress. I think it's the B cover. This is the 1 in 100 virgin variant, which I couldn't get it for ratio. The pre-orders on that book sold out a long time ago. So I think I paid like $130 for it. On eBay right now, I don't think you can buy it for less than 180. It's 180 and above right now. Several listings at 250. It's a great Sienkiewicz cover. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. So one of my favorite covers he's ever done, I think, is this one. So that definitely had to make my list. Bill Sienkiewicz, Predator versus Wolverine, issue 4. The runner-up is this cover, which I don't know if it made any top 10 list. I think it might have made the cover price top 20 list. Most people don't like landscape covers. I kind of don't either, but man, this one's so good. This is a Sienkiewicz cover, Milestone 30th Anniversary Special #1. It's a 1 in 50 incentive variant. And it was tough to find. I think I ended up getting one copy, just a little bit above ratio. But this was like $100 out of the gate. I mean, it was tough to find it for less than $100. And I don't know that there's too many for sale right now. And if you go on eBay, yeah, I mean, I don't think there was too many for sale. Yeah, let's see if there's any for sale right now. Oh, yeah, it was a 1 in I'm sorry, it was a 1 in 25. So I probably paid like 35, but 30 to $35 for it. If you go on eBay right now, there is a couple copies for sale right around that $50 to $60 range. So it's definitely selling above ratio still. But yeah, I just think it's a cool looking cover. Yeah, I love it. I don't know all these characters on the cover, but I know they're from that Milestone universe. But man, it's just that's Sienkiewicz at his finest right there for sure. All right, our third spot. So that was number 4 on the list. Our third spot goes to a very well-known artist. I've talked about him all the time on my channel. In fact, I refer to him as the master, and that is Gabriel Dell'Otto. So this is the Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy issue number 2. He did do a regular cover for this, not an incentive, but this is the incentive that I'm showing here, which is the 1 in 100. Good luck finding this book. I got one copy. I think I paid a little bit over $100 for it. And I think the last sale I saw was around 180, and that was a buy it now that went very quickly. Right now, there's none for sale on eBay at the moment. So this is just a pretty rare book. I think that was a comic book that a lot of people did not know that there was a 1 in 100 Gabriel Delato variant on. A lot of people talk about, oh, what's the rarest Delato variant? This might be up there. This might be up there in the top 10. Really hard to find Delato variants, just because I know most stores did not order 100 copies of issue 2 of Silver Surfer Rebirth Legacy. It's just I don't know any shops in the state of Florida near me that had this. So there might have, I think Midtown probably had 1 or 2 copies. Golden Apple might have had 1. Some of the really, really big national stores might have had a copy or 2 of this, but that's it. So how rare is this book? I don't know. If you look at eBay, there hasn't been a lot of sales this year on this book, especially recently. So I just love it. It's a great cover by Delato. Runner Up is kind of a controversial book. So this is the runner up, Amazing Spider-Man number 26. This is actually a reused piece of art that Delato did several years ago for a different Spider-Man cover. And I think it was a Euro variant. And obviously he pulled the art back out, and Breeze Comics is this is a store exclusive through Breeze Comics. So the only way to have gotten this is if you're somebody who follows Breeze Comics, which I had never heard of them before. I don't know if he has a YouTube show. I have no idea, but it is a store exclusive. And supposedly what happened was the trade dress, what you're seeing on the one side, there is also a Virgin variant. The trade dress, there was only 498 copies produced, which I know Marvel basically requires that retailers do a 3,000, 1,000 order. So I think what happened was they destroyed all these other copies and limited it, and basically was promoting it as the rarest Delato book, which obviously I don't think it is. 500 copies, 498 copies, in my opinion, is not that rare. That Silver Surfer Rebirth doesn't have 400 copies out there. It has I think it has less than 50. So to say that this is the lowest print run Delato cover, I think is completely erroneous. It is a good cover, although I do like it. It is a nice looking cover. I think if you really like the cover, the Virgin variant might be worth tracking down eventually when the price comes down a little bit and the hype on it kind of dies. Right now, if you go on eBay, the prices are still pretty high on, especially that Virgin variant. They want pretty good money for that, over a couple $1,000s, I think. So yeah, I thought I would mention it just because there was a lot of attention on it earlier this year. It is a good cover, and it's definitely one that was talked about quite a bit this past year as one of the interesting covers of the year. All right, so that was our third spot went to Gabriel Delato, and he's been at the top quite a bit in the last few years. He always has he produces a lot of artwork, so it's not surprising that he's in that top 5 spot there. Number 2 is Jenny Frison, Lady Death, Cybernetic Desecration. This is issue number 1. This was a Kickstarter exclusive through Coffin Comics. You had to support the campaign at a certain level to be able to get this cover. There were 3 of them, actually. There was a trade dress, which you're seeing on the screen now. There was a Virgin color version. That's a Virgin cover of this. And then there was a black and white noir Virgin edition as well. So basically, there were 3 covers that you would have received if you supported that campaign at that level. It wasn't cheap. It was like $1,000, and there's only 90 of these Frizzen covers in existence, and they're numbered. So I have one of the 90 in my collection, all 3 covers. There have been some sales on eBay, um, maybe 2 sales this year. So of the 90 people that bought this campaign, I think only 2 of them have decided to sell. There was somebody that had a graded set for sale on eBay, and they took down the listing. So I guess they changed their mind. But it's definitely one of the rarer Frizzen books. You know, that's a big discussion all the time. Hey, what's the rarest Ginny Frizzen cover? I know there's some pretty rare ones out there. This is definitely on that list. Less than 100 is extremely rare, and it's a great looking cover. I mean, it's just a classic design. I love it. When I saw that advertised, I immediately signed up for that Kickstarter, and it sold out that night. I think that they launched the campaign, I think at like 9 o'clock at night one night, and I think within 10 minutes, all of these, there were 90 people within 10 minutes, obviously, had decided to purchase that particular campaign. So it sold out pretty quickly, and I'm very happy to say I'm one of the 90 people that have this cover in my collection, and it's definitely never going to be sold. It's just going to stay in the collection, I believe. Runner-up Frizzen cover for this was Sacrificers #1. This is the Ginny Frizzen Virgin variant. This was sold as an exclusive through the Comic Corner store. They also have a black and white color splash version of this, which was limited to only 50. So again, what's the lowest print run Frizzen book? I mean, it all depends. If it's a store exclusive, that Sacrificers #1 black and white color splashes, there's only 50 of those, so it's pretty limited. Yeah, I just think it's awesome. It's just fantastic art design by Frizzen. She's always been one of my favorite artists, and this is a perfect example of how good she is at producing just stunning images. Just a great, great cover. So Ginny Frizzen, one of my favorite artists of all time. She's in the 2 spot this year. Who is in the 1 spot? Who could possibly be #1 for the year for 2023 for me? Well, I will tell you right now, this artist has done a great job. He has been around a few years, and he's finally, I feel like this year, he's finally getting the recognition that he really deserves. He's been known for several years, but this year he came out with so many good covers that he is definitely perceived as one of the top cover artists in the industry today, and that is E.M. Gist. And this cover is my favorite cover of 2023, and it just came out maybe a month ago. This just came out. This was X-Men Blue Origins #1. This is the 1 in 50 Virgin variant by E.M. Gist, and man, Eric just did a great job. Look at that cover. I love it. It has that like 1960s vibe to it, the coloring, the orange, and man, not only is the art really, really good, but the design of the cover is just fabulous. I have 2 copies of it in my collection. I wish I had 4. It's just a great cover. Luckily, the price has come down a little bit on it. I mean, I think it was, I bought it right above ratio, both my copies, which is around a little bit over $50, and it went up right away to like 175, 200. I think it's back down now, a little bit more reasonable. I think you can get it below $100 now. But if you like an iconic, cover by a fantastic artist, and now there is a regular trade dress B cover version of this. So if you really like the art, but you don't want to spend the extra money to have the Virgin cover, you can go buy that for $10, with shipping on eBay. That's not a problem. You get it all day long. If you want the virgin variant, it's going to cost you obviously a little bit more, 70 to $100 right now. And there's a handful of copies for sale on eBay, but not many, like 4 or 5 copies. That's it. But if you really like the art and you don't want to spend that kind of money, just buy the B cover. The regular B cover is available. I just love it. It's fantastic. Now, Gist had a lot of good covers this year. The runner-up that I chose was the Obi-Wan Kenobi issue number 2. This was the 1 in 25 incentive variant. It's just a cool Vader cover, man. He's in his back to tank being healed. I mean, you can see all the wires connected to him. Yeah, it's just an awesome looking cover. I love it. Gist did a great job on that. Yeah, that was one of my favorite covers of 2023. So that's the list, guys. Those are the covers that I felt for this past year that were the best in my opinion. And I don't know what you guys think. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Obviously, art is subjective. Everybody views it differently and finds aspects of art that they like and don't like. This is just what your humble YouTuber Justice for Comics thinks. That's it. Those were what I thought were the best covers of 2023. Let me know what you think. Leave comments, please. I recorded this. This is not a live stream. This is just a recorded video that's going to go up on my channel. I'm also going to link it on my Instagram. Let me know what you think. Is this a good list? Did I do a good job of picking covers that were popular? I think almost all of them were on the Hot 10 list once or twice throughout the year, whether it's Cover Price or CBSI or several of the Hot 10 lists. Most of these covers were on the list. So yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Make sure you like and share my video. That always helps my channel grow a little bit, even though I know that I'm probably being suppressed by YouTube's algorithm. I'm a little too opinionated sometimes, and they don't like that. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Please share the video. That helps me grow the channel. Make sure you also subscribe to me on Instagram. Hope everyone has a great end of the year, a happy new year as well. And I'll see you guys in the next year.